This is Wretched Radio with Todd Friel.
The faith statement of a foolish world. This is Wretched Radio. Romans 1 describes the individual who suppresses the truth in unrighteousness as a fool. And the credo of the contemporary fool is, if it feels good, do it. Why? Because we are living in a world of autonomous self. We are living in a world that has told us repeatedly this world is really about you. It's not about others first. It's certainly not about God first. It is about you first and foremost. And if you just try really hard, believe in yourself, then you can do anything that you want to. The credo of the contemporary world. Along comes the Bible and says, actually just the opposite. The heart is deceitful above all things, desperately sick. Who can understand it, including yourself? The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end, its way is death. Whoever trusts in his own mind is a fool, but he who walks in wisdom will be delivered. A fool gives full vent to his spirit, but a wise man quietly holds it back. The world says, if it feels good, do it. If your heart gives you a hearty affirmation, it's a great big morality thumbs up. Knock yourself out. The world has it backwards. The Bible sets it straight. Careful. Don't operate based on feelings. This really, believe it or not, to a degree, where we're at in contemporary thinking, the zeitgeist of our age, always has many influences, but not the least of which would be Romanticism, the idea of self, and doing whatever it is that makes you happy, to love yourself above all things. We had a romantic period of art and music, but those ideologies, those thoughts have not disappeared. And so if you go to a university campus, or frankly, ask somebody in the cube next to you, what's the chief end of your life? Well, to make me happy. So I got to make me happy. I've got to do things that are fun, that are satisfying. This message, of course, comes from academia and also too often from evangelical pulpits. It even comes out to a degree in the message, hey, you've tried all these other things, but wait, try Jesus. That is going to really make you happy. And that just sings to the romantic's ear. Good, because I want me happy too. Jesus and I are on the exact same page. I want to be happy. He wants me to be happy. Terrific. Let's go hand in hand with Jesus until they discover the real Jesus. They want the make them feel good Jesus, not the real biblical Jesus. And yet, this message has made its way into evangelical pulpits from, frankly, so many charlatans who present Jesus as the happiness maker, the shalom provider. Oh, it's just amazing to be a Christian. And that's why we're happy slappy all the day. Come on in and see the show. And you just watch us perform. It's going to be amazing. Was reading a quote from Kevin DeYoung, talking about why so many people are rejecting the church these days. And so many people have said, well, it's because it's staid and it's boring. And so we've got to gussy it up. We've got to make it more entertaining, more amusing. And so it is that we have made it a show. We've got whipped cream and confetti and concert stage. Kevin DeYoung. Church isn't boring because we're not showing enough film clips or because we play an organ instead of a guitar. It's boring because we neuter it of its importance. That's interesting now, isn't it? Too often we treat our spiritual lives like a round of golf where we just talk about what we think about God. Enjoy the scenery, the ride in the golf cart. That's what we like when it comes to religion, and that is what we have too often provided in the seeker-sensitive movement. And the world is actually, to a degree, wising up to us and going, wait, what? I'm supposed to exchange an A-level concert for this on Sunday morning? I can go watch the whole movie on Netflix. I don't need to see clips from it and have you talk about it as if this is just some sort of life lesson. I can get those in the comfort and convenience of my own home on my schedule. I don't need church. I don't need your trivial stories. I don't need your how-to lessons. And we have responded to something that the world, it is indeed aware of. God exists. They know this. They have a conscience. And so it is, these people, wanting some sense of religiosity, will go to something that just sings to them. We thought that was a good idea. So let's make church like them so that they'll come. And guess what? It's failed. It's utterly failed. And frankly, you're going to see the failure of it more and more these days. Why? Why in the world would somebody want to lose their job by going to a silly center on Sunday morning? We're seeing that all over the place, aren't we? That people will get shut down. They will get canceled. They will potentially get fired because they're on the wrong side of the issue. Just wait until Christians are open game. Oh, we can. Forget the people who were wanting Trump elected. How's about those Christians? Just wait. Do you think that the people who started going to church to be amused and entertained are going to continue going? Not a chance. What? Why? Why would they? We have shot ourselves in the foot. Church isn't boring because we're not showing enough film clips. It's boring because we neuter it of its importance. The world does ask the questions. They just don't have the answers. Where'd that come from? Why am I here? What do I do with this guilt burden that is heavy on my back? What's going to happen to me when I die? Come on, church! Let's sing some Van Halen, man! And regularly, they can't even find the beat. The world doesn't need nonsense. They've got plenty of it where they live. They've got cable TV. It's everywhere. And yet the church has decided we're going to participate and give it to them. Does this mean now that church needs to look like a caricature of a Puritan service? Yeah, maybe. But how's about we just start getting serious about what we're doing? And we do start speaking truths that have long been too hidden from the world and from the individual who stumbles into a church. That our religion is called Christianity because we love Christ. And the way to help people love Jesus more is by raising up the standard of who God is to help them understand their sin problem and that they face the wrath of God. And that the only way to have him assuaged is to be hidden in Jesus Christ. That's it. There's your option. Jesus or Jesus. Take it or be ground to powder. Well, that doesn't make God sound very loving. Then we need to make sure that we aren't just preaching wrath as if we're torqued and it feels good. It could be a little bit of a cleanser for us, couldn't it? It could just be a catharsis. The world is just all stupid. That's what Romans 1 says. They're morons. Hell. You're going to hell. So there, President. Yeah, fine. Go ahead and sign the Green Deal. You're going to hell. Hold on. That's that's a mess, is what that is. It might make you feel better, but that's not what we're about. We want people to see Jesus Christ, who came and dwelt among us. If you get frustrated with fools, how do you think it must have been for Jesus? That he had to cohabitate with people that the Bible calls morons. So dumb we are. And he came and lived with us. The diamond of heaven stepped off of his throne to take on a human carcass, to live a perfect life of righteousness amongst a bunch of total knuckleheads, not to mention sinners, not to mention depraved minds, not to mention feet that were dirty from more than just the filth that was in the streets, hands that were covered in blood. Jesus came and dwelt among us. God with us. Emmanuel, to do what? To seek and to save that which is lost. He did that willingly, not as a victim, as a volunteer. Why? For God so loved the moronic world filled with wicked, totally depraved sinners. He gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever would believe in him would not perish, but have everlasting life, starting now. If our wrath preaching, our high and lofty holiness preaching does not lead us to the cross of Christ, to hold him up as the amazing Savior he is, then we will have done it a disservice, and we too will simply be fools. This is Wretched Radio.
Do 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 do. Thank you for calling technical support. This is Todd Friel, the wretch the song refers to. Could I possibly put you on hold for a moment?
Todd, we have talked about this. You cannot answer the phone this way.
Righto. Thank you for calling technical support. This is Todd Friel, the wretch the song refers to.